Hi, friends. I'm Olivia. This is AV Club, where I talk about horror, lit fic, weird books, whatever I want to talk about. And I wanted to do just a quick little no regrets November mid-month check-in. I'm filming at a different time of day because we are just about to go see the producers. Super excited. So hopefully the lighting isn't too distracting. But I am so excited to talk about a couple of books. Have I finished as many half-finished books as I wanted to this month so far? No. I've been listening to a lot of new horror audiobooks, which I have been reviewing pretty quickly. Futility, I already have that review up. I just finished Girl Dinner, which I loved, and I can't wait to talk about. The Captive, I've already posted and talked about. So I'm definitely up to other things other than these books, but I just wanted to go ahead and talk about them now, talk about where I'm at on my bingo board. I think I already have a bingo. I'll have to double check during the editing process. But the first book that I finished this month, oh my gosh, it was so good. Painting Portraits of Everyone I've Ever Dated by Joseph Earp. This is so fun. So it is about a painter named Ellie, and she has just won a major art prize in Australia. She has kind of a habit of painting animals that are representing people as a way to kind of stay detached, an arm's length away from anything too serious or too vulnerable. And then she realizes maybe she has let a couple things in her life lapse in the relationship department, in the personal department. And so she has decided that she wants to embark on a new series where she paints a portrait of everyone that she's ever dated. And she has criteria for this about how serious it has to have been. So it ends up being around 5 people, but down to like her childhood sweetheart kind of thing. And from that premise, I thought that it might end up feeling kind of like a Sally Rooney writing Scott Pilgrim kind of thing where the exes are coming back, but it is so much more than that. And each section is named after an ex in a way that breaks it up about like what she is currently processing, but each ex, her relationship with them either worsens or repairs or is even more confused. It's a really interesting take and it's a really interesting premise. And the writing is just so good, so funny, so emotionally sharp. I really loved this. And I didn't find it overwritten at all, but there's just like turns of phrases in this that are so beautiful. It was a thick, overcast day, the clouds coming together like a fortune teller with aphasia, trying to describe future dramas but lacking the words to do so. So there's beautiful words put together in that kind of way, but it is also, a relationship story. There are insights on that, and it does have takes on that. Like Ellie is thinking back about how she has tried to keep people in arm's length away, and about how an ex that she only occasionally let him sleep over because she had rules about the sharing of each other's bed. Ellie often worked this way. She thought that if you said something wasn't intimate, then it wasn't. And that, like it has smart moments like that that do make you think about your own experiences in relationships. Another thing that I highlighted that I related to was you didn't have to do anything in this life, not really. That was the best part. That was the worst part too. So there's just so many turns of phrases. I just really, really enjoyed this. It's so tender, it's so funny, it's really funny. I just had such a blast reading this, and yeah, definitely a 5 star. A book that I think a lot of people would like. A lot of people would like this book, and you have to give it a chance. I don't know if it is actually how available it is for purchase outside of Australia, but I'm sure there's like an ebook or something available so that you can read this as well. And that was my 2025 release that I hadn't gotten to yet, but I was looking forward to. So tick on that one. And then for my book that was a genre that I haven't gotten to this year, I decided to read a romance. I know, who am I? But it was The Ornithologist Field Guide to Love by India Holton. This is a very loved book, and I liked it a lot as well. I don't want to say I was surprised, because if I was going to like a romance, then this is what I would like, because it is about birds, but it's also a historical fiction, and it also has fantastical elements. And the fantastical elements are light in nature, that everything is pretty straightforward, a historical fiction. However, these birds that they are on the lookout for are magical in nature, that they can set things on fire, or I don't know, but it was just like very light. Like it would be like an emu that had a venomous bite or something like that. So it was like real birds, but then adding some fantastical element on top of it. I liked that it was very rom-commy. I liked the comedic part of it. There's eventually like a sex scene at the almost at the end of this, and that was my very least favorite part of the story. I'm in no way anti-sex. However, I don't know why it's so cringy to read about inside romance novels. I don't find it off-putting to read about inside horror novels, literary fiction, but there's something about how they're written in romance novels that just like gives me the ick. I just cringe the whole time. So the the relationship very fun between these two rival ornithologists that are on the lookout for a rare bird, and the people putting on this contest decide, we need to make this a hit, we need it to be in the papers, and they think, well, what better way than to get two people to fall in love? And so they are tricking them around every corner so that they both miss the train together, or they both have to stay in the same room in a hotel together. There's, funny hijinks like that. And I just loved the bird aspect of it. I think historical romance is much more likely to be my thing than anything contemporary whenever it's written in such a genre way. But I did find this very funny. I find it very likable. I may continue on with the series. I think it follows the main guy in this, his cousin, and he's like a geographer. So I think that even if it's not about birds, I might still like it, and I'm not rushing to get to it, but I wouldn't mind if I found it in the op shop in the future to pick it up and continue on with the series. I thought they were fun. And I think I might get a bingo here if I'm remembering the bingo board correctly. But finishing a book that I softy enough, I did finish The White City by Karolina Ramqvist. And I believe I might have called this a translated book before because it is Swedish, but I think it was actually written in English language. But kind of interesting. It's kind of like a crime noir type of story. However, it follows the girlfriend of a criminal and her newborn baby, as her boyfriend has just been caught, and she is going to have to give up the house and everything in it because it is now being taken by the police. And so she is just making her way through the world trying to survive. She is kind of infant like in nature as well. Like she doesn't know how to be self sufficient. And so that part kind of just, it was believable. Not necessarily the most like fun thing to read, but it was well written. Something that I don't know who I would recommend this to, because I just found it like very interesting, an interesting choice to write it about a mother and infant and that relationship, while this mother is also not able to take care of herself, and like that being echoed in the, her trying to take care of this infant. So it was very interesting from a novella perspective. However, it's like not the most like high octane thriller or anything like that. Very gently paced, very gently toned. The relationships with the other characters are interesting. It's very well written, but it is just kind of like something that I don't think, it doesn't really stick with me even now, other than being like, oh, that was an interesting choice and it was enjoyable to read. But nothing like super impressionable, really. But I am definitely making my way through other softy enfs, which is my big goal for this month, is to eliminate as many of those as possible so that I'm not overwhelmed by them coming over into the new year with me. That is my goal for No Regrets November. Your goal can be whatever else is not regretful to you. Maybe it's getting to as many 2025 releases as you want, but almost done with House of Leaves. I don't think I even mentioned this in my TBR because it's been in past TBRs, but like, you can see why this is taking me a while to read, but I really have barely any left. And like a lot of this is like the index, and a lot of this does not even have text on the page really. So I'm almost done with this. I'm recording the podcast on it this week, so it will have to be done. And yeah, I have many other things that I'm working through as well. But that was just a quick mid-month update on how No Regrets November is going. Almost positive I have a bingo, so big congrats to me if that's true. Um, but let me know, how is your reading month going? And yeah, just chat with me down in the comments. Love to talk. So I'm going to go see the producers now. Have a blast. And until next time, talk to you later. Bye.